It works for now. Okay, anyways, now I'm recording again. So, what is the function for f of x?
What? X squared.
Yeah.
No, square root of x, sorry.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, and this is 1. What in the world? Okay. Square root of x, and then we're going to square it, minus x squared squared. Okay, so this is x minus x to the 4th dx, and now we're going to integrate it. So we have pi times x squared over 2 minus x to the 5th over 5 from 1 to 0.
That messes me up because I always do the bottom.
So, if I put 1 in, I'd have 1/2 minus 1/5 minus 0, correct? So if I found a common denominator of 10, this would be 5/10 minus 2/10, 3/10. Or 3/10.
This stuff is way easier than the stupid AP review.
Yeah.
You were so excited. Like, really?
Okay, well, how about this now?
Oh gosh.
Why'd you say
All
that?
right.
What the heck?
This one's not as easy. Find the volume of the solid formed by revolving by revolving the region bounded by the graphs of the following function about the y-axis.
This one on.
Now, here's the deal. I told you about, and tomorrow we're going to learn about something called shells. And shells takes the surface area of a cylinder, okay? And so it's like it wraps. I think of it as a, what are those things? Is it a gobstopper that have the different? Yeah.
What?
So if you would, so that's different. Discs, I'm cutting this way and stacking them up. But if I would try to do like a gobstopper, shell, okay, a jawbreaker, that would change the formula to being a surface area formula, because I'm doing the surface, but then I'm like wrapping it around and around and around. We're going to learn about that tomorrow. And so what happens is it's a different formula, because the surface area for a cylinder is different than the volume. Well, my point in saying this is shells, which we're going to learn tomorrow, is not an AP required topic. However, sometimes, because what you end up doing is flipping the direction around, when you revolve around the y-axis, it becomes easier to use shells, and they would accept them as answers on the AP exam. But for now, if you want to use a cylinder or a disc, you need to be making your radius going this way when we rotate around the y-axis. So what that means is I'm going to have to rewrite things in terms of x equals y. So let's sketch a little picture first of all. Here's the xy axis. X squared plus 1 looks like this, right? And then I have y equals 0, x equals 0, but then x equals 1 would be a vertical line. And now I'm rotating this around this axis. And so basically what's happening is now my discs are being stacked up, or my washers are being stacked up this way. So I'm doing, if I'm going out, then I'm going to find where these meet. Here it's not going to make a difference, but after a certain point, do you see how there'll be a hole, there'll be a washer. Okay, so here's how we're going to do it. Let's find out first of all where these meet. If I wrote y equals x squared plus 1 and I plugged in 1, that would just be at y equals 2. So this is the point 1, 2. And remember, I'm going to be integrating on the y-axis, so I'm going to be using the y value, the 2. Okay? From the y-axis, the outer region squared is the furthest away. That's the line 1. Okay? The inner region is this curve, which is y equals x squared, but it has to be rewritten in terms of, yeah, so we're going to rewrite it. I'm going to subtract 1 from both sides, and then I would take the square root, and there's a plus or minus. This is the plus, this is the minus, so we're going to just look at the positive side. Okay? So, let's write out our washer formula. Remember, we're going on the y-axis, so we're going to go pi outer radius squared minus inner radius squared, and we're going to go from 0 to 2. And remember, what was the outer function?
Okay.
X equals 1, so we're going to just call it 1 squared, my outer radius squared, which is still going to be 1, minus
Y minus 1, or square root of y minus, which is it?
Okay, are you following what I'm doing there? So now when I square 1, we get a 1, correct? And when we square the square root, we get rid of it.
Or wouldn't it just be negative?
Careful, because if I distribute this, this is actually 1 minus y plus 1,
The negative y.
which is negative y plus 2, or 2 minus y. I know I'm writing lots of steps here, but... Alright, so now let's integrate. So, this would just be 2y minus y squared over 2. And we have a pi out in front. And from 0 to 2. So if I put 2 in here, I'd get 2 times 2 is 4. 4 minus 2, correct? Which is just 2. Minus that would be a 0. So 2 pi.